Well, the 2019-2020 bowl season starts this weekend, and to me, it is one of my most favorite time of the year with Christmas, New Year's, and football, and it's just a great time of the year. And today, I'm going to give the 10 most interesting bowl games outside of the college football playoff, and I'm going to start at number 10. The Belt Bowl, known as the Best Bowl, is what they say on their Twitter. And it is Virginia Tech versus Kentucky. Now, why would you be interested in this one? This one, you need to watch this because this is Bud Foster's last game as the defense coordinator for 33 years at Virginia Tech, one of the greatest defensive coordinators of all time, and just a legend and going to be in the College Football Hall of Fame. And then Kentucky, if they get their 8th win, that means they would have had their 32nd win as a senior class, which is averaging 8 wins, and that's just amazing, I think, as Kentucky. And they had 10 wins last year. If they 10-8, that would be great for them. They've had a lot of adversity, and with their first stringer and second string quarterback getting hurt, and just amazing for them. The 9th best bowl that I'm interested in is the Texas Bowl. It is Oklahoma State versus Texas A&M. The reason why I'm interested in this, I want to know if A&M can beat a ranked opponent. Oklahoma State is number 25. A&M is 7-0 against unranked opponents. 0-5 versus ranked opponents. So that's an interesting bowl game. Number 8 is the Holiday Bowl. It is number 22 ranked USC versus number 16 ranked Iowa. Now, USC has had to overcome a lot of adversity, with 3 different starting quarterbacks, with JT Daniels getting hurt, Slovis, a freshman, Kedon Slovis, who also got hurt, so they had to put in Fink. It's interesting, with Clay Helton in the hot seat. To me, 8-4, if they win this bowl game, 9-4, I think that's a pretty solid year for USC. Now, for Iowa, their defense is amazing. Nate Stanley, the senior quarterback, well, he's been average this year. He's missing those 2 tight ends, and they can't run the football. They've had 4 ranked opponents, all of them defensive slugfest. They lost 10-3 against Michigan State. They lost 17-12 against Penn State. They lost 24-22 against Wisconsin, and they beat Minnesota 23-19. So that's an interesting game. And then number 7 to me is the Valero Alamo Bowl, one of the most underrated bowl games. It's usually better than this one. I mean, they always have, for the last 10 years, have had top 10, top 15 matchups. But this year it is Utah, 11th ranked Utah, who had a clear path to the college football playoff before they lost to Oregon, versus the most disappointing team this year, Werbach, Texas, 7-5. And that's going to be an interesting. You're going to be at Texas. If Texas loses their 6th game, whoo, that is disappointing. And Utah can have a chance to get their 12th win and redeem their Pac-12 championship loss. So that's going to be interesting. Number 6 is the Las Vegas Bowl. Boise State versus Washington. Why? What you should be interested in is, it is Chris Peterson, the legend, last game. He's retiring, and he's doing it against his former school that he coached at, Boise State. I mean, you can't write a better script than that. Number 5 to me is the Cotton Bowl. And the reason why I'm interested in the Cotton Bowl, Memphis versus Penn State, I always love Group of 5 versus Power 5. I think that's going to be a very interesting game, and I just love it. Number 4 is the Outback Bowl. It is number 18 ranked Minnesota versus number 12 ranked Auburn. Why should you be interested in this? It is Minnesota finished with 10 wins, and it is, to me, they got on the map for the first time in like 60 years, since like 1960. It's crazy. And then Auburn, the way that they have played this year, Gus Malzahn, before the season, a lot of people wanted him gone at Auburn. I didn't understand why, but he has silenced all the critics. He can, and especially if they win the Outback Bowl, a 10-win season with that schedule. Wow, what a great year for Auburn. Number 3 is the Citrus Bowl. Jim Harbaugh, Nick Saban. Enough said. That's all you need to say about that one. You know, Michigan has had a hard time winning big games. This would be a huge win over Alabama. And Alabama, you know, not in the playoff for the first time. You know, that's an adjustment for them. And they're 0-2 versus ranked opponents. So they have something to prove. The number 2 is the granddaddy of them all. The repeat of the 2011 Rose Bowl, which was an all-time classic where Oregon edged out Wisconsin. It is number 6 ranked Pac-12 champ Oregon versus number 8 ranked Big Ten runner-up Wisconsin. Oh man, that is going to be a good one. You know, Oregon with their O-line and Justin Herbert going out as a senior. Oh man, it is, to me, it's more interesting than the LSU Oklahoma game. That is going to be it. But the most interesting game for me, and I'm a little biased, is the Sugar Bowl. Number 5 ranked Georgia versus number 7 ranked Baylor. Now Georgia, as you know, they lost in the SEC championship, they had a chance to go to the playoff, just like last year. Last year Georgia was very immature. You know, they were complaining, you know, they should have been in. And when Oklahoma laid an egg and Notre Dame laid an egg, they were laughing and blah, blah, blah. And then they get smacked by Texas. Well, now this is a retention game. They have to win. They cannot embarrass themselves like they did last year. Versus Baylor, who's back on the mat. Matt Rule should have been coach of the year. I mean, 1-11 2 years ago, takes them to 11-1, man. With all those sanctions that they've had, what a job by Matt Rule, man. Those are is going to be an interesting. So I'll recap: 10 most: the Belk Bowl, the Texas Bowl, the Holiday Bowl, the Alamo Bowl, the Las Vegas Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, the Outback Bowl, the Citrus Bowl, the Rose Bowl, and the Sugar Bowl. Those are the 10 bowl games that are must-watch television. To me, quite honest, all of them are. I love bowl games. Try to watch as many as you can. You will not be disappointed. Want the playoff, and it's just a great time of the year. I also, tomorrow, will give my predictions to the bowl games on all of them and who's going to win. And last but not least, tomorrow I'll give my reactions to recruiting because signing day. Going to have a good day. But last but not least, go Dogs!